When I tell you we're about to review peak cinema, I am not lying. We are taking a look at the first Pink Panther episode ever. Season 1, Episode 1. The Pink Phink. The Pink Phink was the first Pink Panther short produced by Depati Frelang Enterprises, and it won the 1964 Academy Awards for Best Animated Short. This is the first Pink Panther episode ever, and it won an Oscar on its debut. This is the first time that studio won an award for an animated short, and it is the only Pink Panther animated short episode or movie, any installment in the franchise to have won an award. This is one of the only times a studio has won an Oscar on a debut short. This is episode 1, and it is already peak cinema. They couldn't top themselves after this. All you gotta do is watch Pink Panther episode 1, and you don't even have to deal with the rest. You already watched the greatest Pink Panther short there is. Why watch any others? And I just had to paint such a captivating scene. It takes the Pink Panther simply wanting to paint the house pink and the little man wanting to paint the house blue. It is that simple. That is all the short is. The Pink Panther wants to paint things pink. The little man wants to paint things blue. It's that simple. And it won an Oscar. The thing is, the Pink Panther character was originally created for the animated opening credits for the Pink Panther 1963 movie, and people found the animated credits so popular that they decided to make a pilot for what would be the Pink Panther show, and that pilot was the Pink Phink. It had a US premiere the following March 18th, 1964, a year later to the day. As this was an animated short, it was often shown before a major theatrical movie. In this case, in the US, it was Kiss Me Stupid. And I kinda miss those. I miss the animated shorts being shown before movies. We don't get a lot of those nowadays. It's also called a short because it was 5 to 10 minutes. A lot of cartoons nowadays are 20 to 25, 30 minutes in total with ads. Some shorter ones are 11 to 15 minutes. But these really old cartoons harken back to a time when shorts were just 5 to 10 minutes, 7 minutes on average. Characters like Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry were often shown in these shorts, and a lot of their shorts were shown before movies. Now let's get into the Phink. The episode begins with the Pink Panther smoking his signature cigar as he encounters the unnamed painter, but he would later be known as Little Man, and if you thought that was insulting, they also call him Big Nose and the White Man, but his more regular aliases are Eddie and Frizz. Frizz itself is a reference to Frizz Frelang, the creator of Pink Panther. Both the Panther and the painter compete over how a house should be painted, blue or pink. Each time the painter attempts to paint something blue, the Panther thwarts him in a new creative way. And that's pretty much all you need to know, as that's how the whole short ends up going. The painter even ends up trying to exterminate the Pink Panther by blasting him with his shotgun, but our clever Panther already filled that bad baby with some pink paint. This would lead to the painter trying to collect all the cans of pink paint and trying to get rid of it by burying it in the ground, but that would inadvertently lead to everything becoming pink. But just before the Pink Panther can move in, he paints the White Man completely pink as a last gesture. The painter gets upset and bangs his head against the mailbox outside out of frustration. We finally see the Pink Panther walk into his house as the sun, which is also pink, finally sets, adding a small tint of blue into the sky as the cartoon finally fades to black. This is one of the few times that the Pink Panther is seen smoking in his short outside of the opening credits. He uses his customary cigar holder, and in later cartoons they would often take it out. The Pink Panther's initials, PP, are seen on the streamer trunk as he brings it into his new home. His full name, Pink Panther, is shown on the mailbox. Pinky was drawn somewhat shorter than he usually would later on, and he didn't have his distinctive step-step walk which is something that when you see, you can't unsee. This first episode of the Pink Panther was actually referenced in another episode of Dexter's Laboratory titled A Silent Cartoon, which features Dexter as the little man trying to paint the laboratory blue, and Dee Dee as the Pink Panther trying to make the laboratory pink. And it's also referenced again in 2010 with the series The Pink Panther and Pals, from the episode A Pinker Tomorrow, as the Pink Panther tricks the little man into covering the outside of the house blue instead of pink this time. For those who remember a laugh track, it's not a Mandela effect. The Pink Panther did have a laugh track, notably on NBC and the Spanish Boomerang channel. As to why they were added to the theatrical releases, I don't know why, but I'm here to deliver the facts. And the fact is, there's nothing left to say. The video's over. This is a short video for a short short. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time.